Welcome back to the Ham Cam. Today we are working on a 2012 Challenger, I believe, if that's correct. Anyways, it is a Dodge Challenger with the 3.6 Pentaster motor, and it came in for a check engine light due to a coolant temperature below threshold. If you know the Pentaster very well, then you know that they have a plastic oil filter housing and they like to leak oil and coolant. Now I'll get this turned around. I've already started taking this semi apart. I've taken the cold air intake tube off and it pulled the box out. There is only very little coolant in the reservoir down here, which is well below the cold fill. There is no water in this upper radiator hose. There's a little down there in the lower radiator hose, but a important aspect of this is this radiator is not secure. A horn, well, that's not secure. And just a little background on this guy. If anybody has done paint and body work, you can see that stuff doesn't line up. I'm not going to close the hood so you can see, but see the paint doesn't match here. All those dents, and we have a unpainted aftermarket bumper. So that would be why this is not secure, because it had been wrecked. We got plenty of loose stuff down here, not secure. We're gonna have to dive into that and see how this thing actually mounts, because I don't see any brackets to mount this currently. But it should be sitting right about here, and it is not. So y'all stay tuned.
The plastic oil filter housing is a known point of failure for these engines. Thanks to the Dorman aluminum version, we can eliminate the problem and throw this OEM in the trash.
Alright, we've got the old plastic one out, and for those that don't know, at least every one that I've done, they have not had electrical tape around the connectors to keep them quote unquote waterproof. So it seems somebody has been in here before, but we've got this cleaned up for the most part, and now it is time to install our new Dorman oil filter housing. We already got these sensors swapped over for the oil and coolant, and we've got our O-rings in and lubed up. So we're gonna get this set in here and connect this hose up, and unfortunately it requires two hands, so wait one moment. Alright, we've got the oil filter housing in, secured down. Now it's time to wipe down the heads for the intake manifold, pull these gaskets out, install the new ones, and then install the upper plenum gaskets for the upper portion of the intake manifold. Install the new NGK spark plugs, and we already have the old ones pulled out here amongst the old hardware for the oil filter housing. But you see how it's a little yellow at the base of the porcelain here? Leads me to believe they are the original factory ones, and they all look fairly good. But anytime I do one of these jobs, since the intake manifold has to come off in order to do it, I always suggest one spark plugs, because it saves time and money on your end and saves time on our end, so we can just knock it out all at once. I'm gonna get these swapped out, and y'all stay tuned. All right, we've got our new Dorman intake manifold gaskets on here. We've already sprayed the cylinder head. So we're just gonna make sure this is all seated. Start all of the bolts. We just finished up the complete install of the Dorman aluminum oil filter housing, fresh set of NGK spark plugs, and the gaskets that come with the Dorman oil filter housing. I've got to, if you're just now checking in with the video, got to figure out how the radiator secures. Looks like there are brackets that bolt here and go down on each side, but I'm not a Dodge guy by trade. Go forward. All we actually have to do now is fill this thing full of coolant, burp the coolant system, then call the client and inform them of the items that we found wrong with the car and that need to be taken care of. That way she doesn't have issues going on down later down the road. I'm Jamie. Thanks for watching once again, and stick around for more awesome content on multiple different vehicles like these CJ7s.